When the topic of literature is brought up in everyday conversation, most people think of traditional novels that have their words bound on paper. Some people may think of poems, but rarely does anyone recognize the literary artistic value of animated film. Even less appreciated is the world of Japanese animated films. But throughout these past few years, Japanese animation has been more valued as the popularity of anime movies has skyrocketed mainly due to one man, Makoto Shinkai. Makoto Shinkai was born on February 9, 1973 in the moderately small town of Komi, Japan. Shinkai's passion for writing started early in his life. He credits his inspiration to start writing from his favorite childhood films, such as Castle in the Sky by Hayao Miyazaki and The End of Evangelion by Hideki Anno. Shinkai's love for literature carried into his adulthood as he attended Chuo University, where he studied and graduated with a major in Japanese literature. He further explored writing as he joined the Juvenile Literature Club in college. When Shinkai graduated from Chuo University in 1999, he was hired by the video game company Falcom. Shinkai created tons of different animated opening sequences for Falcom's games, web content, and videos for the company. While working at Falcom, Shinkai started his career in filmmaking by releasing his first piece called She and Her Cat in 1999 that was fully self-produced. Shinkai's monochromatic short film was so impressive that he won the grand prize at the 12th Doga CG Animation Contest. Being recognized for his talents made Shinkai realize that he could make a career out of his writing and animation. Shinkai soon started to consider what his next film would be after the success of She and Her Cat. Following his success, a production company named Comics Wave offered a partnership to create a film with Shinkai, which he accepted. Soon after Shinkai accepted the deal with Comics Wave, he quit his job at Falcom in 2001 to focus on writing his next film, Voices of a Distant Star. This movie was released in 2002 and experienced amazing success. Voices of a Distant Star caught the attention of so many people because Shinkai created the film entirely by himself. Even today, creating an animated film entirely by yourself is almost impossible. Shinkai would continue working with Comics Wave and go on a spree of releasing many popular films. His next film, The Place Promised in Our Early Days, would come out only 2 years later in 2004. After that, he released 5 centimeters per second in 2007, Children Who Chase Lost Voices from Deep Below in 2011, Garden Words in 2013, Your Name in 2016, and Weathering With You in 2019. Although all of these films had a team of animators and assistants, Shinkai would fully direct, storyboard, write scripts, and come up with the ideas for all of his movies himself. Not only have Shinkai's works heavily influenced the world of Japanese film, but the whole world of animated films. Shinkai's writing and masterful direction have raised the expectations that people have had for animated films and stories. Shinkai's films have also credited him with many awards. Shinkai won Best Director at the 8th AMD Awards for Voices of a Distant Star. He also won Best Director at the 29th Nikon Sports Film Awards, Best Director at the Tokyo Anime Awards Festival, Best Animation Director at the 26th Japanese Movie Critics Awards, and the Best Director at the Tokyo Anime Awards Festival again, all for his work in Your Name and Weathering With You. Even NASA has recognized the excellence of Shinkai's work by naming an asteroid after him called 55222 Makoto Shinkai for his creation of Your Name. But out of all of Shinkai's works, Weathering With You and Your Name are the ones that define his career. Weathering With You is set in modern-day Tokyo, but there is something different about this world's Tokyo. It's always... This film follows the story of two main characters, Horuka Morishima, a 16-year-old first year in high school who ran away from his home to Tokyo, and Hina Amano, a 17-year-old who spent her time working in Tokyo ever since the death of her mom. Horuka is struggling to live in Tokyo as his age prevents anyone from employing him. As he attempts to find a place to rest after spending all the little money he had, he ends up in a random McDonald's. Horuka hasn't eaten anything for a while, but doesn't have enough money to buy anything. As he is sitting at a table, contemplating what to do, a young female employee comes up to Horuka and gives him a free burger. The employee, who is Hina, runs off before Horuka gets the chance to thank her. This chance encounter between them would happen again when Horuka spots Hina being dragged into a sketchy building by some Yakuza. Horuka decides to run in and save Hina from the Yakuza, and they run off. They end up in an abandoned building, trying to catch their breath. Hina leads Horuka to the roof of the building, where there is a torii gate, found in most Japanese shrines. Horuka is confused why they would be on the roof due to the rain, but then Hina does something amazing. Hina puts her hands in prayer and clears a part of the clouds to reveal the sun that they haven't seen in years. The rest of the movie follows the story of Hina and Hodoka's relationship, while also being able to explore the subjects of poverty, desperation, love, death, and mortality through Shinkai's use of expert writing and amazing animation. Weathering with You is one of Shinkai's most successful films, grossing $180 million worldwide, only second to Shinkai's biggest hit, Your Name. Your Name, also known as Kimi no Nawa, follows the story of two teenagers. Mitsuha Miyamuzu is a 17-year-old girl who lives in the countryside town of Itomori. Mitsuha lives in a household that is closely tied to old Japanese traditions and religion. While performing a ritual that involves creating traditional sake through chewing rice, she spots some of her peers from school making fun of her. This leads Mitsuha to resent the traditions of her family and makes her want to live a more modernized life in the big city of Tokyo. Her wish would come true, as one morning she wakes up in an unfamiliar room. She gets up and realizes that she is in a small apartment when she hears someone yell that breakfast is ready. Before going out to get breakfast, Mitsuha checks the mirror and sees that she is a boy. She is extremely confused but writes it off as a dream. She goes through the whole day as this boy, going to high school and going after school to a part-time job. The next morning, Mitsuha wakes up in her original body, but only to find notes written in marker all over herself. She then realizes that she actually switched bodies with that boy from the previous day. She would soon learn that the boy's name is Taki Tachibana by reading the notes on her arm and notes he left on her phone. As she goes throughout her day back in her body, all of Mitsuha's friends tell her how she was acting weird the day before at school. This only further confirms that she is switching bodies with Taki. The next day, they would switch again, and then 2 days later. Mitsuha and Taki would switch bodies every other day without fail. As they both adapt to switching bodies, they lay down ground rules for each other when they swap to not ruin each other's lives and to maintain their personal images. As they continue to switch, they begin to quickly learn about each other's lives. As time goes on, both Taki and Mitsuha begin to develop feelings for each other. Shinkai's beautiful writing takes the viewer on a roller coaster of emotions while following the story of Taki's and Mitsuha's search for each other throughout the film. When I first watched Your Name, I was captivated by the pure love story and the mystery of the body swapping. But after rewatching the film multiple times, I came to enjoy it for many more reasons. In my opinion, Your Name is the best film I've ever had the pleasure of watching. Makoto Shinkai's stellar writing and direction in conjunction with animation that is so breathtaking that every frame looks like a wallpaper makes Your Name the best film I have ever seen. Shinkai masterfully ties in subjects of love and ambition, while also showing moments of raw desperation. Shinkai is able to incorporate traditional Japanese culture, teenage romance, societal differences, and politics all in a non-linear plot through his writing. The raw emotion that Shinkai is able to portray in Your Name will fill you with the feeling of melancholic happiness, while leaving tears running down your face in a state of shock.